Hey everybody, it's Justin from PlayStation Blog, and I've got my good friend Scott Amos here from Crystal Dynamics.
Hello folks.
We are here to take a look at, I know that the Twitch stream says that we're playing Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, but we're actually playing Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, which isn't even out yet. That's why it says Guardian of Light, because it's not in Twitch's system, so we had to, you know, the name of the original game. Yep. So yeah, we're actually playing a build of Temple of Osiris, which was recently announced. We just today announced on PlayStation Blog that there's a gold edition of the game, which comes with a bunch of fun stuff.
Absolutely right.
You want to run down the benefits of that gold edition real quick?
Yeah,
before we get
sure.
into this?
Yeah, so for us, the gold edition is one of those. It's for the fans, right? It's definitely. It's got a map inside of it that shows the entire overworld, which we'll talk about later what that looks like. But you have a map of the entire location where the game is set. You also get in it all the season pass content. So all the stuff that we'll be announcing later with a couple different tomb packs that have another half hour each or so, maybe 45 to 60 minutes of content, a bunch of character skins, some more rings, some more amulets, some more gear, which is just always good to have. And on top of that, we actually have, you want to show that?
Yeah.
This is a prototype of one of the things that comes with the gold edition.
Check that out.
The Lara Croft action figurine.
I don't know if the focus is working, but look how cute she is. Look at that. Oh, it's adorable. It's a little Lara Croft figure.
It's too good, right? So it's one of those things that definitely as a collectible, it's a fan favorite, right? So getting that, and then the custom art book, so stuff that we haven't released anywhere else, that was concept art for the game, for Temple of Osiris. So you get all of that stuff bundled in the gold edition.
Sweet. So people are here to see gameplay of Temple of Osiris.
Absolutely.
Let's hop in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
So
right now we're just sitting here at the main menu screen. So these are actually the in-game characters. So one of the benefits of being on PS4, being on the next-gen systems, is looking at saying, oh my gosh, you know, we can make stuff this good, and these are the real characters we use live in-game. This is actually one of the scenes in the game that we're just using and framing as the gameplay.
Oh.
What we're going to do is start with, you see these 4 characters. When we start a new game, it brings up the character selection menu, and so we can actually see the 4 different characters we have here with Lara and Carter, and those are the 2 archaeologists in the game.
Okay.
And then we have Isis and Horus, and so you can be Isis if you want, so that way Lara and Isis can partner together. I think it works pretty well. So we have 2 archaeologists, we have 2 Egyptians, and these are these Egyptian gods that have been trapped in the Temple of Osiris that Lara and Carter have stumbled into. They've actually set off their own traps, and now they're marked for death. They have to all 4 bind together as a team to kind of solve this giant crisis that they've actually set off. What was a prophecy is now becoming real, and these 4 have to bring it to its fruition.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and start the game, and then it's going to run through about a minute and a half, kind of animatic, kind of setting up the story and the tone and the world, and then we'll jump into gameplay.
Okay, cool. Let's watch that opening.
In Egyptian mythology, the god King Osiris unified the kingdoms and ruled with wisdom and justice over the whole of Egypt, until he was killed by his brother, the usurper Set. Osiris's wife, the goddess Isis, recovered her husband's lifeless body. Using the power within the staff of Osiris, she returned him to the world, but only long enough to conceive a son, Horus.
All right.
When Set learned of her actions, he stole the staff and used its power to imprison Isis and Horus. Then he seized the reanimated form of Osiris, tore his body into pieces, and scattered them across the land until he ruled Egypt unopposed. As his kingdom declined, he descended to the underworld, Duat, in search of greater power. But Osiris alone possessed the power to return from Duat, and without the staff, Set found himself trapped for eternity. The Temple of Osiris remained sealed for thousands of years until I discovered a way inside. But I was not alone. Carter Bell, a rising star in archaeology, was also in search of the staff. The lost staff of Osiris was inside. With our prize so close, the race was on. Carter, wait!
Ha! Not this time, Croft.
But it was too late. The staff was a trap, and the temple a prison. Carter and I were cursed.
We owe you our thanks, travelers. You have freed us from our prison. But you are now marked for judgment. You do not have much time. Duat, the realm of the dead, awaits. I am Isis, and this is my son, Horus. We are the last of the old gods who stood against Set. If you wish to live, we must escape this temple and find the pieces of Osiris.
Even Guardian, right? Guardian opened with Lara kind of opening the adventure storybook. looking at the world, but this is the game, right? This is 1080p native everywhere, 1 to 4 player front to back, which is why you have the 4 different heroes you can play.
Now, I'm going to make an embarrassing admission. Please don't hurt me, but I did not play Guardian of Light. So this is all new to me.
We won't hold that against you.
Okay.
So. All right, so you can see even on the controllers and actually matching in the game itself.
Are we on the, yeah, here we go.
We can actually see that we actually match the controllers to the character on screen. Particularly when you get 4 people, it can get a little chaotic there. So being able to say, oh, okay, Lara's red.
Okay, I'm yellow.
Isis, in your case, is yellow. So it is a classic kind of twin stick shooter, very much like Guardian. Left stick moves you around.
Oh, yeah.
So you can get your controls. Right stick is aim. And then if you hold the right button is when you'll fire. So
I fire staff lasers.
So you get the staff of Osiris. You have the energy and the beam from Osiris. So you can actually use that almost like that laser to kind of sweep through things to shatter vases, because nothing says archaeology like smashing 2,000-year-old pottery, right? That's the way to go. And then simple things like the A button is jump. The longer you hold it, the higher you'll jump.
The X button.
X button.
Thanks.
Sorry. So many habits. Square for dodge roll. So this is something that we'll teach. This is our tutorial level, which will introduce all the different controls. And then we'll show you a few of the other controls as we get into it. In this case, with all the horsepower we have, Lara has one of her special powers, a dynamic torch. It's a little kind of nod back to our previous Tomb Raider, right? Where you get a torch to carry around. But you can actually use it to do things, not only lighting up areas, which you'll see, we actually get some really dark areas. Now this is nice, kind of underlit for the opening level, but there's some tombs later on that are pitch black, and you need to use your torch to get around.
So when I'm picking up this loot, do we share that, or is it? Do we get our own? It looks like I've got a different score.
It is first come, first serve. So we have an entire loot system we'll walk through, including these gemstones, but we also have all kinds of gear, rings, amulets, stuff you customize your character with. But it is we call that competitive cooperation, or co-opetition.
Co-opetition.
The idea that we can both go after everything that's in this game. Like these gemstones, once I get them, I got them. You didn't get them. And the gems are part of the currency to actually open chests later on, so you can start getting that.
No friendly fire, I see.
Well, actually, we do have a version of friendly fire, so you can't shoot each other. But if I drop a bomb, I can actually cause a little bit of trouble there. So.
And I'm falling off.
And you're falling on the cliff. There you go. So you can get back on the ledge.
I didn't realize that was a thing. Okay.
So being able to light this other brazier here with my torch. Nice. And this is one of the simple ways of just introducing puzzle mechanics of using your torch to light things up. You can see these blue lights of Osiris kind of turn on, and then if you hit your button, you can jump across and you can smash open vases. Try and get your gemstones.
A vase, as if you're classy.
As if you prefer, if you're much more in the Egyptian crossed with.
What do we got here? What's this guy?
So this is a sphere from Duat. So Duat's the Egyptian underworld. So this whole myth is based on the idea that Set and Osiris, the brother of Osiris, a guy named Set. Set was evil. Set usurped his brother, actually killed his brother.
Classic Set.
Classic bad guy. Cut him into pieces, hit him all over this shrine, hit him all over ancient Egypt. But Set's trying to come back.
So we got to find some Set pieces.
So we have to find some Set, Osiris pieces. Sorry. Set's the bad guy.
Okay,
the other side.
Man.
I like it though. It's good.
I almost pulled that off.
It's close. But these are these tears in fabric between Duat, the underworld, and our real world. With your staff, you can shoot them and actually seal them. So it's kind of like cauterizing a wound.
Oh, okay.
And those we use as kind of an indicator to players that there's a puzzle or there's a block or there's something you have to clear to get out of your way. And they get much more complex. This is just a tutorial to kind of get people into it and understand the basics. As you walk into a room like this is one of those rooms that, because we can support up to 4 people at the same time, this room would customize depending on if it's one of us, 2, 3, or 4 people.
Okay.
So in this very simple shooting tutorial, if you stand there on that switch, I will go down here, and then as I get on the other switch, now it actually will activate the puzzle, the gates will seal around us, and then you get to shoot this eyeball first. Very, very simple, just to shoot him once.
Gotcha.
Just to kind of remind and teach people how to use their shooting mechanic. When I shoot him, now we actually get the puzzle solved, the gates will drop, it'll actually open us to the next area. So this is the kind of stuff where these rooms will customize depending on how many of us there are.
Oh, that's really cool, actually.
Amount of loot, the number of enemies, the puzzles themselves, all this stuff changes. Like even in single player, we don't even have some of these braziers in single player, but we have them in multiplayer because there's a lot of gemstones you want to fight over because everybody needs stuff for currency. Nice, look at that.
Gotcha. So I've got the staff, Lara's got the torch. What about Carter and, what was the other guy's name?
Carter and Horus. So
Horus.
Isis and Horus are pretty much the basically one set of characters. There's the asymmetry split across the Egyptian gods or archaeologists, right?
Okay.
So Carter and Lara have pretty much the same skill set. Where we have a couple mechanics we'll see in the tutorial, like a grapple, like our torch, but he has a flare. You start with different default guns, where she has her classic dual pistols, whereas Carter has a magnum that he starts with, so it's a little slower but more powerful. And then for us, we'll get to our first cinematic and seeing Set, getting to meet the bad guy.
Okay, hey guy.
Have you come at last to bow before me? I owe you a great thanks. For thousands of years I was lost in the dark of Duat, but when you touched the staff, it sang to me. It guided me back here so that I may reclaim what is mine.
You are a murderer and a tyrant, Set. We will grant justice for Osiris and seal you in Duat forever.
So be it.
I'm learning that.
But while you withered in captivity, I mastered the secrets of Duat. I will find my way back to this world. And you have shown me the path. I will take back my throne.
Look, Set is raising his army.
Now you can fight
He
things.
has
All right.
It's always good, nice
All right,
innovation,
let's
right?
kill stuff.
So now we get to kill some of these spirits that he's
Laser
raised.
beams. Nah. Whoop.
The power of Osiris.
Good. What do
still
you mean you haven't
resides
played Guardian? You're
within
an actual at
us.
this.
Yeah.
If we
Okay.
raise
So there's one of these
darkness,
spheres. So this is a sphere that's
anything
optional,
is
right? So it's off the main path, but if you can get over kind of in that gap and shoot it, you can actually lower all this kind of gold. Anything that seems gold, gold and black are actually Set's evil. So it's kind of that Set magic. And you get to get one of the skulls. Now,
All right.
these skulls, classic Guardian collectibles, one of the things we brought back, Temple of Osiris, where you have them hidden in all types of various locations. Usually it's a traversal or some kind of switch puzzle. One of the powers you have with the staff is if you hold your L2 button, you can actually activate anything that has these blue glyphs on it. Those are like the symbols or the signs, like the graffiti of Osiris. So it lets you say, oh, if I hold my staff, you see how she raises it over her head, it glows blue as well, and you can activate
Oh, cool.
those
And I
things.
don't need to necessarily be standing on it.
No, you can actually move around, and you can actually do things like you can actually grab onto certain objects while you have the staff held. So you can be swimming, which we have as a mechanic. And
Okay,
here,
I
the
see
staff
puzzle
active.
opportunities happening here.
Tons of stuff. And again, I just can't help myself that I can go around and light these things up and get gems for it, but we also have bad guys to fight, so we should take care of them. Good, nice dodge roll.
My dodge rolling is working a lot better now than it did in my Demon Soul stream yesterday.
Oh, nice. Well, good. And this starts introducing the next mechanic. So for the archaeologists, we have a grapple hook. So you can see these kind of brass rings at the top. I can actually make a line that I can either scale up the wall.
what?
If you come stand right in front of me, you can actually jump up and walk on it like a tightrope.
What?
And so now you can actually
Yes!
hit your jump button, jump off to the left, and you can get off the tightrope. Nice. And then I can actually just climb up the
Oh,
wall.
that is so
I
cool.
cannot tell
I want a
where
grappling
she
hook.
is.
Well, you have another power.
No, I mean in
So-
real life.
Keep your eyes open.
Well, we can get you one, actually.
Okay.
Sure, REI is open. So if you hit your R1 button, you'll see you turn into this magic shield. With the staff, you can put a shield around you to defend yourself. It also lets you float on water. It's pretty fun. So instead of you having to
All
get stuck down, there's some enemies later on that we have to deal with. But when you make the shield ball like that, if you get up next to a wall, I can jump on the edge of your
Oh,
shield.
cool.
And now I can get up here. Now, since you can't get up here without me, I can actually grapple directly to you,
Yes.
and then you can climb up the wall. This is
Oh, okay.
that asymmetry cooperation that we want to put in the game, right? Where we can make tight ropes, we can make any types of puzzles. Oh, bad guys everywhere.
You're making me want to go back and play Guardian now.
You absolutely should. I think it's one of those games that when it's one of those undiscovered games that people are like, oh, Guardian, what was that? So when they see it, they love it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and if you're in the chat, sweet little bonus for you. We are actually giving away, we've got just a few codes for Guardian of Light in chat. They're right at the bottom of the screen there, so get your screen cap tool ready and get ready to redeem those codes.
All right, so how did we get up a ledge last time?
You
look
jump
at
on
that,
me.
see?
Use me.
Beautiful. Another pressure plate. This will open the next gate. But before we run on, one of the things that we can show the folks watching at home is that we actually have a hidden collectible over here. And since there's no grapple point, I can actually grapple to you.
Oh, and then I'll hold you.
And you can just stand there, and I can just go down here.
Yes.
Now, if you happen to turn on your shield right now, you'll disable the grapple, and you would drop me to my death.
I wouldn't do that
You
to
wouldn't
you,
do that,
Scott.
right?
I wouldn't do that to you.
Of course not.
Maybe later. Not now.
So this is the next big fun thing to teach people. This is one of our other mechanics that everybody gets, so these remote bombs. So when you push the Y button, you drop one. They're color-coded, so you can see yellow versus red, or the other character's green and blue. And then you hit it a second time to detonate it. So if you want to go any of these cracked floor surfaces, you drop a bomb, detonate it, and there you go. So this actually opens things up like gemstones into there.
Oh, nice.
Or to bypass these kind of air launcher puzzles. So we can smash all that stuff. So then you start using them in concert with dodge roll, drop a bomb, then turn around, get away from enemies and shoot at them. So you can start seeing that kind of ballet you do in combat.
Cool.
And then things like these sarcophagi you can also shatter. And this is a lot of the destructibility.
Oh, give me all the gems.
Nice.
All
Look
the
at
money.
I'm talking
all the
here.
money.
You're just stealing everything. Oop, health pack.
Whoop.
So you'll notice the kind of banners that come at the top. When you hit certain challenges, like in this case, if I can launch skeletons into the spike pit, see the guy going flying?
Oh, yeah.
If you get 3 of them, you will get an ammo upgrade. Because at the bottom, we have green and blue.
Like challenges system.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have a ton of challenges. Every tomb has different challenges. We have specific challenges for the characters, for the overworld as well. But the whole idea is that with the gameplay that we have, we want you to keep going back to it. So even though you've played through a tomb, you want to go back and mine it for gems, look for more loot, be able to get these types of challenges that will actually upgrade your characters.
Cool.
And then things like this, you know, it is drop-in, drop-out co-op, meaning I can actually make 2 of us play. We can have a friend kind of join in right now. But we also think about dropping our friends. So, for example, sorry,
No!
I just couldn't help myself.
After I didn't.
I know. I had to show them the feature. So I won't do it this time. I swear.
Yeah, sure.
I won't do it.
You go this time.
Well, I can't. So
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Right. So
I'll laser beam you over there.
now then I can, if you get up to the higher cliff
Yeah.
over there, then I can grapple to you.
me.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then when we're connected together, I can actually get us a health power-up.
Sweet.
So that actually upgrades our health. So you have constant levels of upgrading the green for health, upgrading blue for more ammo. Because even though our default weapons are unlimited, we can infinite ammo for the staff and for the dual pistols. As you get more complex weapons, they take different amounts of ammo. We try to keep it simple. You don't have to find different types of ammo. You always just find one blue ammo box, but they will cost different for rates of fire and for the amount of ammo they consume.
Cool.
I can't help myself. I have to keep blasting this stuff open.
Give me all the gems.
All right, so this is yours. So this is back to you using the staff to open the seal of Duat. It'll open the next door. So you get the sense that we're inside this Temple of Osiris, right? This is, again, just the starting level of the game. But this is for us to get into this complex world.
I like the kind of depth of field stuff you got going on with the background there.
Well, we definitely want that epicness. And as you get even some of the areas that we'll talk about later on, but you get that real sense of, oh my gosh, where the hell am I in this giant world? And for us, it's one of the coolest things is having this camera gives us a very nice ability to do those kind of those vistas. So you found a ring.
Yep.
So we have a whole rarity system, very much from the common kind of white all the way to orange. In our case, it's actually from iron to gold.
Okay.
So iron and then copper, bronze, all the way through silver and gold. So an entire inventory system where you can go through and actually customize your characters. So you have rings, and rings are individual. So they have a positive and negative. The rarer the ring, the more positives and the fewer negatives. So you get the thing that has 5, maybe even 6 positive traits on it, like reduce the ammo consumption or regenerate my ammo for that matter. So it's pretty cool stuff. And then as you get more gear, you can actually have up to 4 weapons mapped onto your D-pad.
Okay.
So you can actually have 4 different guns you can switch through, but you can carry tons of weapons. We have so many more weapons than Guardian had, and even some with special effects like fire ammo down the road. So we'll talk about those in a second.
So there was something someone said in chat just before we started, and we thought it was hilarious. What was it?
He said if Diablo 3 and Tomb Raider had a baby, this would be the game. And I think they're absolutely right. It's the idea. We looked at everything from economy, from loot systems, from getting multiple players together and having that isometric field of view to be able to play through a dungeon kind of feeling, but in the Tomb Raider universe for sure.
I'm a huge Diablo fan, so you're totally speaking my language right now.
So circle button, right? We'll just back out.
Cool.
And then we can back into the gameplay. So green things are health packs if you need them. And it's one of the things that if you don't need them, they just stay there.
Ah!
Sorry.
I ran right into that one. Give me your money.
We split that one there. We start getting down to puzzles like this.
We got some questions from the chat here. Kel Hendros is asking if we share the loot.
So we do not. So there are certain weapons that we do share where you get one and everybody in the party who's playing at that time gets it. So since you and I are playing together, there are some guns we'll find that we give to everybody. Okay. But more often than not, any of the rings, amulets, all that stuff is first come, first serve.
Gotcha.
So it's one of those things that competition kind of factor we want in there. Who gets there first? I might bomb you so I can get to cross the pit first to get something, that kind of stuff.
Cool. And someone else was asking about the release date. Do you guys have like a release window in mind?
We do. December 9th. We've actually announced the date. So
cool.
Yeah, it's coming out then.
December 9th. Sweet. And finally, someone is noting that, and this is King, sorry, the last one came from Martin Morgan, forgot to call it out. This one's from King Wolfgar, who asks, there are a lot of cooperative puzzles. Is this playable in single player?
Absolutely. It's one of the things that the actual mechanics themselves are the same across the board. If Lara's by herself, she gets the staff. So she never gets the actual shield power. That's exclusive only to the Egyptian characters. So for example, you're blocking the arrows so I can actually come behind you there.
Cool.
But in single player, I would get the staff for any of the, like using it as a beam weapon or using it to solve puzzles and raising it over my head. So the game is fully playable front to back as single player as well as 2, 3, or 4 players. You actually will get some different pieces of story the more characters you have, because Carter, if he's in the game, or Horus, they will add certain commentary. They'll have certain dialogue that you only get when they're playing in the game.
How hard is it to build a game for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 players?
Yeah, building any game is hard, right? Building a single player game is always difficult. And then when you start doing it with 2, 3, or 4 players, fortunately we have guys who worked on Guardian. I saw you. What was that?
Sorry,
man?
I was hoping you would get it out of the way.
You're distracting me. But
you dropped me on a spike.
That's true, I did. I guess I deserved that one. But looking at it from Guardian's side, building a 2-player game was so much harder than a single player because you had to come up with puzzles and how the mechanics work. When you get to 4 players, suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, how are we going to make this 4-player puzzle make any sense and actually be completable And then how do you make sure people aren't bored? And they're not standing around waiting for player 1 or player 2 to do something. So it was a big deal for us. And fortunately, like we said, the guys already done Guardian. We've seen what 2-player looks like. So it was, I think, easier this time for 4-player, but it's still a big challenge.
Yeah. Now I did see, even though I didn't play Guardian of Light, I know that it was really well respected. A lot of people really liked it back when it came out. It was kind of a like a sleeper hit. Like it was kind of a surprise. It came out of nowhere, and everyone was like, "Whoa, this like top-down Lara Croft game is actually really good." So, and it looks like you guys are just keeping that trend alive with Osiris here.
Well, thanks for that. Yeah, certainly we have a ton of fans that have been asking for a sequel to Guardian. You know, it's a pressure plate over there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and people have been looking for that sequel. You know, that was 2010. It's 4 years ago that we've done that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So we've been distracted since then, a little Tomb Raider action, as you might imagine. But being able to come back to it and having so many fans ask for it, and ask for, when are we going to do a sequel? What are you going to do next? And then saying, how are we going to upgrade it for next gen? And then saying, hey, people want to go back to ancient Egypt and have Lara revisit one of the iconic locations in her history. So this is a great cutscene to show the thing that's chasing us.
Oh.
Now that we're cursed, now that we're in the underworld, you know, this underworld is bleeding through, this is actually from Egyptian mythology. This is Amit. It's a hippo, crocodile, lion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she is angry. So
are we crumbling?
Right. We are crumbling. Watch out for the big statue.
Go.
You can do it. Nice. Look at you. First
right.
time through, man. You sure you haven't played this?
Yeah, your flattery will get you nowhere.
That's right. It'll get me everywhere. So the gold effect, whenever you see that, that's a little hard for us to hear here, but that's always set. Whenever he's talking to you, it's like the big booming voice of the evil guy. So whenever you have that gold overlay, that's him talking, kind of his evil penetrating into the world. So that's just the way we kind of color code his dialogue. More stuff. So this one, a lot of people miss this one. Make sure you dodge roll into that one, otherwise you're going to get a little haircut there.
Haircut. Ooh, money.
Nice.
Money.
Excellent. So this gets to one of those moments where we start introducing like your first real weapon, right? We've got our pistols, we've got our staff, but there's a nice prize over there, and we're going to show off another new mechanic.
Those cages bear the marks of the god Khepri.
Let's just get a little story.
He was one of the first to fall to Set's madness. What power he once had belongs to Set now.
So these rolly balls were something in Guardian. So you can go up there and hit your circle button. You can actually grab onto it, and then you can actually roll this thing around. So once you hit and hold your circle, hold it. Yep, there you go. And now for Guardian, it was actually just these large metal balls. We used them all over the place for physics puzzles. We decided to upgrade them a little bit for next gen. Dynamic fire inside. They actually will light torches as you roll by. So you may not have a torch, but you can actually use it to light things. And then this whole Khepri symbol is this god of the underworld who actually drove the sun from the underworld to daytime, so it caused day and night. So the idea of having this giant beetle thing that moves the sun ball around is where the
sounds like you guys did a lot of research on Egyptian mythology, or was that knowledge all kind of floating around from previous Tomb Raider stuff?
It's a little bit of both, actually. I mean, even after the first Guardian, there was actually some design already done for trying to do an Egyptian-based Guardian sequel, and it was really one of those things that we just put on the shelf until we had time to get back to it. Look at that. I didn't have to tell you what you had to do. You just read this.
I'm a fast learner.
So looking at, again, we can use bombs as well to move these things around.
Oh, cool.
Right? So now you can imagine the puzzles.
And it splats me. Oh.
You can imagine the puzzles we get into later on, where you have to deal with physics objects and having to move these things like that. And then single player, for example, one of the questions, if you stop right there with this, you can actually put that near like the red skull. If I didn't have you, if you were here with a red shield, he pushed me into the spikes. If you had the shield, I could jump on your head and get up there. But since we have this in single player, you'd be able to solve the puzzle this way. You put the ball next to the grinder, be able to jump up there and get the next red skull.
So what we're playing right now is basically just the tutorial.
It really is. It's the first level of the game. It is quite literally a demo level that we've made, but we've made it as the tutorial to teach the mechanics, get you engaged with all the different puzzle and elements. Things like this, we already talked about how you get different weapons consume the ammo in the blue bar, and then you can also, again, map it to your different controls.
Gotcha.
And this will automatically map it to your down D-pad, so you already have it there. And again, if you look at every weapon, they actually have traits as well, weapon, rate of fire, power, and you can actually get various versions of the submachine gun as you get further into the game, all the way to very high-powered versions later on.
Right on.
And then circle button just backs us out. And now that we've given you the machine gun, you want to play with it, right, which is, again, is just the aim and shoot, but we had to give you a few things to do with it.
This is cool. I like being an ancient Egyptian with a submachine gun.
Everybody does. Even in Guardian, we had Totek. We actually had a cinematic moment of it where he picked up the gun and was holding it backwards. That's kind of a joke. we have a few lines of dialogue in here as well that kind of showcases it. But these scarabs, man, I mean, while they only take a couple of shots, when you start getting swarms of them like this, it can become pretty nasty. And if you had 4 people, there'd be even more of them. and the idea that we have, you saw a couple of those skeleton guys that are actually lit up. We actually have these elemental effects. Oh, that actually will drop in, so we'll start having elemental skeletons as well, like guys made of fire or made of ice that actually start showing up. Then you have rings that can defend against that, so you can get the sense of that counter, play. With
something blue just fell down that hole. What was that?
So that was an ammo pack. So it was one of those things that we killed a guy and actually there are physics on them before they land.
Gotcha. So that blue bar is our ammo?
The blue bars are ammo.
Okay, cool.
And then getting up to areas like this, like you can use a bomb to drop everything. You can see there's one of the blue packs. If you pick it up, you'll see it power up. Now this is actually fun.
Only for me.
You can actually see on your HUD, you have that kind of bar on the side of the character's face there, and you have a 4x multiplier. The more you fill it up, which is by collecting gems or killing enemies, it actually will change your score multiplier. So you go from 1x to 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and 4. So when you get to that point, everything you collect is worth more. So you can get a higher score. That leads to unlocking the challenges, which we'll see at the end of the tomb. We have these kind of bronze, silver, and gold challenges to unlock new weapons or unlock new gear. So there's definitely that score where I have a 2x multiplier and you have a 4x right now.
Lots of replayability.
Tons of it, right? It's all built into it. And then another piece of loot. This one is shareable. We all get this. This is actually an amulet. Now, amulets actually power up everybody on the team. So in this case, when you look at this one, we call it an iron fire flail. This is actually the lowest level, iron. But this is something that when you have it, it actually gives every weapon we use a fire elemental.
Oh, cool.
So when we hit the circle button to back out, you'll actually see that my machine gun blasts now have that. If you switch back to your staff, you have a red beam.
Nice.
One of the fun things about that is like down here, you have a brazier. If you come down this way, you can come shoot it.
Oh,
you have to get that, of course. I understand. I really do understand the addiction. That's
the loot calls, man.
Oh, look at all that explosion! That one. No, good. Nothing for you. But if you use your brazier if you light the brazier with your staff, you can actually shoot and light things from a distance. So you can imagine some puzzles later on where you have these gas vents and you can see them on the inside of the map, like, how the hell do I get there? Well, if you go get a fire amulet, which we give you at the beginning, you then power it up, you can actually do those types of things.
So we're in the tutorial level and we already have this enormous toolbox of different puzzle solving tools.
Yeah, and this is only 3 items we picked up, and there's hundreds of these things, and mix and match of the different rings, and then you're tuning your individual character. With the amulets, you could have one that, for example, does ice projectiles. So now you can freeze enemies while I'm using fire. So you can start combining the elements. And you have 4 players. Now you have regenerative health mixed with fire with ice. So you can start getting that idea. If you power up everybody in your team, and you can become quite unstoppable.
Now, real quick, I just want to call out to chat. If you guys have any questions for Scott here, please feel free to call him out, and we'll grab a few and read them off.
Absolutely. Oops. You all right?
Yeah, I hit triangle trying to jump because I've been playing so much Final Fantasy XIV. I'm used to that being the jump button.
Nice. So since we made you more powerful, we started introducing the more powerful enemies that now have bows. So they're going to shoot these magic tracking shots at us. So you might want to dodge roll some of those.
Get out of here. Can't handle my dodge rolls. Get out of here.
And then we'll have a few guys around kind of pop up. Oh, look out. Now, even these traps, you can actually lure some of these guys into the actual traps, which is awesome. So you can use the dangerous environment. You can even see the scarabs get upgraded, so now they leave fire trails behind them. And just because it's a fun little demo, we put a 2x skeleton in there. So this guy is quite massive and has a very,
now he looks like he's on fire. Should we not be hitting him with fire?
It'd be better to use ice weapons on him. We can still, since we made a demo version of it, we can still get him down pretty quickly with this.
Okay, cool.
But he does do a charge attack, so if you get 2 lined up with him from a distance, he can knock us off the level. He can also take us down and charge at us and actually push us all the way off the level.
Cool.
Then we have Amit in the back. She's all just pissed off. She can't get to us from over there.
So enemies, elements on enemies do make a difference.
Absolutely, yeah. So the idea of having an ice enemy or a fire enemy, you want to use the counter, right? It's very classic stuff. You see somebody on fire, you probably shouldn't use fire on them. You should probably use ice on them to try and affect them more. So again,
video game 101.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's already those known tropes that we can actually just play on. So this type of puzzle, for example, would change again. In single player, we wouldn't have the spike pit. The ring would be in a different location, so I could climb up the wall myself.
Wow,
the combat would actually scale as well, depending on...
So you said it's drop in, drop out. What happens if somebody drops in now? Does the level just shift around us?
It actually will take us back to the beginning of this very unit, so it just reloads the unit you're in. So the way we have the world set up with checkpoints, we'll say, okay, where are you guys at? I'm going to jump into the game now. And then as the host, you say, okay, well, wait a second, then we'll join in. And once you do, we'll reload this unit, so it'll actually recalibrate for 3 or 4 players.
Oh, cool.
And same thing if you dropped out of it. So that way I don't get stuck someplace where I can't solve the puzzle on my own. Look at that.
There we go.
Nicely done. It's a cute little
Easter
egg on the right over there. We won't tell people about. Something you'll see later in the game.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. Just a thing.
Yeah, I like things.
All right. There we go. Oh, I see. I see what it was.
We should go.
Just immediately jump up and get your loot. There's a little more loot over here.
Priorities, man. Oh, so you do move. Do you actually move a little quicker when you're rolling, or is that just a quick way to get up to speed?
You actually do move just a little bit quicker, which is fun. If you actually do it a series in a row, you start seeing me start doing acrobatics.
Oh, cool.
So I start doing jumps and spins and stuff. So it's one of those control things that, you know, it's one of those flares for the fans. It's just
that's always one of the first things I test in a game that has a roll mechanic. Is okay. Let's do the math. Yeah. Am I going to be rolling everywhere?
Yeah, and there are rings at speed boost as well. So you actually have rings
cool.
like that you can get a little edge on people to get there first.
Cool.
And now on our way out of this temple, out of this tutorial, she's actually gotten to us, so now we should run because we can't kill her.
Yeah.
At least not
I
yet.
can take her.
You can give it a shot. Give it a shot.
I trust you.
I'll get the gems on my own.
If you say I can't kill her, then I believe you. Whoop.
Make sure and jump.
Whoop.
Oh, you see, got powered up there, so your multiplier is 4x. So if you don't take any damage, you'll keep that multiplier all the way through. You're not going up those things, man.
Oh, yeah.
We got a challenge here.
I always forget about blowing things up.
And then we add some archers because why not?
Why not?
Now, if you want to try to do this challenge, good luck.
Oh, no.
Oh,
okay.
dude, that didn't work out so well.
I wasn't on top of it.
Now you can hit your X button and respawn wherever. Oh, did you get crushed again?
Did I?
I think you did.
I think I did.
All right,
okay,
there you go.
I'm falling apart.
Oh, careful!
No,
oh!
what's happening? My points are just dwindling. What? Oh man, what's going on here? Okay, well I'm.
All right, here you go.
Showing my
Jump,
real skill
get over that
here.
thing. Look out!
Okay, there we go.
All right, so this last little area is kind of a fun one for the co-op. Area is smashing up. I can't get up there without you. Now I have a choice. I could leave you down there, but
Scott, no!
we'll help you out in this case. Oh wait! Oh, you almost let go. So you should see that in 4-player. When 4 people are trying to get through that, it's just chaos. And then you get to the end, and you're like, 2 shield guys, 2 grapple guys. What are they going to do? And so it becomes a little bit of a chaotic event.
Now I have a choice.
Now you have a choice. You could. I'm just saying. Yeah, I let you out. I got you.
Thanks for coming back.
We're
for
friends
me
here. And then at the end, you get this nice close-up of the actual in-game models and saying, what did your scores look like, which you actually beat me since you're number 1.
Ooh.
And then I'm right behind you by 400 points. You beat me by 400 points.
And these are the in-game character models.
These are the actual in-game character models.
It looks good.
So, and then we actually do a side-by-side, so you can actually see here's all the stuff we picked up. We got a health icon, we got an ammo upgrade.
Cool.
There's something, we missed an ammo upgrade, we got 1 weapon, and then you can go through all of this stuff, number of red skulls, number of challenges, and then points by points. You can see we didn't do so well points-wise. Like, honestly, you want to play this tune with a 4x multiplier almost from the beginning.
Gotcha.
And be able to get to that gold point where we would have gotten automatic pistols.
We'll do better in December.
We will. So the treasure rooms, at the end of every tomb, there's a treasure room. Now this, for demo purposes, all these chests are open, so we only get 1 thing, though, so choose carefully. But you'd usually spend your gems here.
He chose poorly.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
So our other characters join us here, just the puppets of them, like Horace and Carter,
cool.
just so we have them a little bit of story dialogue at the end. And then when you go up to treasure chest and hit circle, you'll get something. And it'll tell you, I got a copper item.
I got...
You got...
Oh, there we go.
You got a weakened iron ring of protection.
Yours sounds better.
Mine does sound better. It's copper for one thing. So once you get your items, you actually can go into your inventory, customize your character, see what they do for you. Yeah, so in this case, mine actually does power shot and ice projectiles. So that's one of the things that we pick up the Firefly, but now I got that's a pretty good item to get.
So what happens if you got the fire and the ice equipped at the same time?
So I can only equip 1 amulet at a time, but you could have, if you have the other one, for example, if you have your fire amulet and I have my ice amulet, we can have them both equipped in the same team, and if you're powered up and so am I, we actually get both at the same time.
Okay, cool.
So you can start seeing you get 4 characters with 4 different sets of elementals. You can have an incredibly buff team suddenly.
Awesome. Let's see. Okay, so Landshark X is asking if you guys have like different modes in mind here. Are you talking about the 1 to 4 player campaign? Do you have anything else going on?
The way it's set up is literally you play the game front to back, 1 to 4 players. So you can actually get to the story, the actual campaign itself. It is an arcade game, right? So at the end of the day, we want it to be simple enough, more like, I'd say, like the Lego Star Wars kind of series where you can get in there, but you'll see things you can only unlock by going back through the game, right? So you want to go back. So once you've unlocked all the tombs, we have them all connected from a thing we call the overworld. So we actually have all the different locations set in this one giant place that you can choose where you want to go to on replay. And it gives you a chance to say, I want to go finish that tomb or this tomb. So there's not a specific mode. It really is, the world is what it is. You get into it, you unlock it as you go through the story, and then it's open season. You can go do whatever you want.
Cool.
As well as challenges and unique quests that are in the overworld to go unlock some of the rare weapons and elements.
Sweet. Phenom24 said, Scott, will Tom Gilmore be a playable character in the game? That's actually an inside joke from our podcast that we do here every week. Thanks for the call out there, Phenom.
Nice.
There was this voicemail somebody left us one time and said, hey, so how's it going, guys? I know you're all doing the podcast, and it's Sid Schumann, Ryan Clements, Nick Sutter, and Tom Gilmore. He called me Tom Gilmore. Like, how is Tom Gilmore even close to my name?
Wow.
So, like, people have been
I'm going to refer to you as Tom from now on.
Yeah, okay.
That'll be good.
Yeah, that works.
So you can go ahead back out of here. We can take one last little peek at something for you. So once we get on these exit points, these kind of elevators, it'll actually take us to the next area. And we have one last thing just as kind of a tease for people to see a little bit further in. So this is jumping maybe a first third of the game towards the end of the first third, where you actually would say, okay, we've gotten through a tomb, so we actually fast track a little bit.
You're running low on life there.
I am low on life, so if I can shadow into these, maybe there's a health pack in
there. Were some health packs up here.
Oh, there you go. I have one of my gemstones, man.
There you go. We're back in action.
And you can see how much larger our health bars are now because we picked up those upgrades.
Yeah.
So this is just a quick tease, but the idea of one of the big boys that you'll get to fight. And you can see the four of us stuck on this giant sunball. That thing.
Oh, okay. That's the thing we saw earlier.
So that's Khepri, the first boss of the game.
Nice.
And we'll fight him next time.
Oh, cool.
So there you go. So just
very
a little something for you.
So that's Lara Croft, Temple of Osiris. Let's see if we got any more questions here. I know somebody was asking if there's going to be like a beta or any way to play the game early. I mean, it's out in December, so you really don't have that long to wait.
No, it's actually going to come out in December, so we don't have a beta plan at this point.
Cool. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions before we let Scott go? You got like 30 seconds to ask questions in chat here.
Anything you got, I'm happy to answer it if I can.
What's your favorite fast food in the area?
Favorite fast food?
I go to Chipotle a lot across the street.
Nice. I don't do fast food a whole lot, believe it or not. So.
Someone said, Kelhendra said, "What do we say to the Lord of Death?" Is that an inside joke or something?
What do we say to the Lord of Death? That's an interesting question.
I don't know.
Not today.
Huh?
Not today.
Not today? Not today. Oh, sorry. Set. He's not the Lord of Death. I see what you mean. Yes, there actually is a line in there for Set, but it's not today. It's a classic Lara line. She actually says it in this game as well when Set teases her like, "I'm going to condemn you to hell," and Lara responds, "Not today."
Let's see. Phenom asked if this was running on PS3 or PS4. This was running on PS4. This is coming to PS4 December 9th.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1 to 4 player co-op. We just played it and had a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Heiko24 is asking, will there be a matchmaking system in place?
There is actually, yeah. So there's a whole find match you can do, invite a friend. So you can always find somebody in your friends list, but there's also a find match. So it actually will look for who's the nearest player, so somebody should join into it. So there's a whole bunch of save load stuff. I think we're going to do some of dev diaries over the next couple of months. We'll make sure and walk that through so people understand.
And you've got local co-op, you've got online co-op, mix of the two.
Yeah, very much so. So even looking in this title screen, there's actually this that's basically the lobby where there's 4 names listed on the logo right there. So right now, if we had extra controllers, people can hit square and just jump in.
Yeah, cool.
Or I can actually open it up for everyone to join into my game. We can have people just doing a find match and being able to hook in from anywhere at any time.
Cool. People are asking about remote play for Vita. Is that something you guys are doing anything special for, tweaking the controls? Or
not what we're talking about yet. I mean, it's one of those things that will, I mean, you've seen what we did on Definitive Edition probably back in the day, so you can assume from that what we know how to do.
Cool. Someone, Neo Mercer asks how much the Gold Edition is.
$34.99.
$34.99. Cool. Yeah. And you can pre-order now, right?
I believe so. I think all the pre-order stuff is up.
Yeah, cool. And if you do get the Gold Edition, you get Mini Lara. Yes. Look at her. Yay, little baby Lara.
Damn fun. It's cool. It's one of those things that we wanted something iconic, something that people would look at and say, yeah.
So cool. We got to take some pictures of her around the building.
Yeah, well, there's a few of them that we did even at Comic-Con with different locations, and then we're at Gamescom next week as well. So we'll be doing some more Lara on parade. Kind of things, so
cool. All right, well, yeah, this has been a really fun stream. I'm glad that we got to go hands-on with this. I'm going to go home and play Guardian of Light now so I can catch up before Temple of Osiris comes out.
Get your skills in.
Yeah, Scott, any parting thoughts before we head out for the day?
I think it's just been fun. Thanks for letting us come and show this off. We're so excited for fans to get their hands on this. Being an upgrade from Guardian with 1 to 4 players, being able to have back to ancient Egypt, which the fans have been asking for, and have something that looks this good on next gen, it's been a labor of love for us, so we're excited to get it out there.
Awesome. Can't wait to play it. Thanks, man.
My pleasure. Thank you.